आकाशवाणी हाफलोंग सुनने वाले सभी श्रोताओं को मेरा यानी कि सिद्धार्थ का प्यार भरा नमस्कार। श्रोताओं, हमेशा की तरह आज भी एक नए कार्यक्रम के साथ आया हूं और इस कार्यक्रम को प्रस्तुत करने में मेरे साथ मेरे सहयोगी हैं
बिशाल जोशी
जी। हम दोनों मिलकर आपके लिए ये कार्यक्रम लाए हैं और इस कार्यक्रम में हम बातें करेंगे। बात करने से पहले हम इस कार्यक्रम में जो मेहमान मौजूद हैं उनसे आप का परिचय करवा दें। हमारे साथ आज हैं मैडम एलॉरी मार्गारेट डोंगेल। मैडम एलरी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है इस कार्यक्रम में।
थैंक यू
जी। साथ ही और एक मैडम हैं, मैडम राजश्री एंथोनी। मैडम राजश्री, आपका भी स्वागत है।
थैंक यू
जी। श्रोताओं, आप दोनों मैडम हैं डॉन बॉस्को हायर सेकेंडरी स्कूल हाफलोंग की शिक्षिका, वहाँ के टीचर, और इनसे हम आज बातचीत करेंगे एग्ज़ाम्स के बारे में। एग्ज़ाम्स को लेकर बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स में अलग अलग तरह के कॉन्सेप्ट वो बनाए हुए होते हैं। विशेषकर एग्ज़ाम के समय देखा जाता है कि अलग अलग बच्चों में अलग अलग तरह का एक भय भी होता है। कोई बच्चे एग्ज़ाम के समय बीमार होते हैं, किसी बच्चे का प्रॉब्लम रहता है कि सब कुछ सीख के जाते हैं लेकिन अपने आंसर शीट में उसको रिप्रेजेंट अच्छे से नहीं कर पाते हैं। और साथ ही आने वाले महीने से ही बोर्ड एग्ज़ाम्स भी होने वाले हैं 10th और 12th के, उस पर भी हम बातचीत करेंगे। और उस पर बातचीत करने के लिए अगर टीचर्स हमारे साथ हों तो उससे बेहतर और क्या हो सकता है। चलिए, सबसे पहले हम एलरी मैडम से ही पूछना चाहेंगे कि मैडम, बच्चों में एग्ज़ाम्स जब शुरू होने को होता है तो उनमें क्या चेंजेस आपको देखने को मिला है आज तक? बच्चे क्या डरते हैं, खुश होते हैं? किस तरीके का एक्सपीरियंस रहा है आपका?
The changes I see
जी
in the students, we do see a lot of changes in the students.
जी
Like some are afraid,
जी
some are so nervous that they fall sick,
जी
and those who are confident of the exams, those who have been consistent in their studies,
जी
do not show any of this nervousness or fear, but they show a kind of preparedness.
जी
So these are some of the changes that we see in the students.
जी। मैडम राजश्री, आपके एक्सपीरियंस में इतने सालों का जो आपके पढ़ाने का एक्सपीरियंस है, आपने एग्ज़ाम्स को लेकर बच्चों में क्या चेंजेस पाया है?
With regard to exam, during exam time,
जी
I feel like all of a sudden they become very serious with their studies.
जी
The whole year round we don't find them much, but all of a sudden you find just before the exam they become very studious, which we of course definitely want them to be from the beginning of the year.
जी
So now among the children, especially among the youngsters, starting from even from the lower class, we can say the whole year round they are not so serious,
जी
and then the changes comes immediately just before a week or say 15 days before the exam, and that's very nice to see in them when we find them going around with their books and then studying.
जी
So that happens with them.
ओके। यही पता चल रहा है कि मतलब क्या बच्चे अगर क्लासेस शुरू होने साल से पहले से ही अगर इस चीज़ पर ध्यान दें तो वो नर्वसनेस जो है, उनका जो प्रॉब्लम्स है वो सेटल किया जा सकता है।
ज़रूर।
उनको किस तरीके से प्रिपेयर्ड होना चाहिए पहले से ही, ताकि एग्ज़ाम्स के समय उनको वो फोबिया अटैक ना करे?
अभी जैसे कि आजकल का जो हो रहा है क्वेश्चन पैटर्न का जो सिस्टम चेंजेस आ रहा है,
जी जी
सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट द चिल्ड्रन आई थिंक फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग ऑफ द ईयर
जी।
दे शुड बी वेरी थरो विद द लेसन्स फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट चैप्टर.
जी
They should go minutely, and at the same time I think the pressure which they have to face at just before the exam, that pressure if they take it from the beginning
यस
along with the help of the parents, I should say,
या
I think it will be more beneficial for the children, so that they don't need to struggle, because what they do in the school, and if it is followed up by the parents from the home,
यस
that becomes much lighter for the children as well as for the students, for the teachers. We also find it easier to handle them.
जी
राजश्री मैम, आपने कहा कि अगर पेरेंट्स का सहयोग मिले तो स्टूडेंट को वो फोबिया से दूर हो जाएंगे। तो जब आप लोग को आप लोग जब टीचर्स और पेरेंट्स जब बैठते हैं, क्या आपको क्या पेरेंट्स से कुछ सपोर्ट मिलता है कि हमारे इस मतलब बच्चे मतलब ऐसे पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं कि अभी पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहे हैं, एग्ज़ाम आने के पहले पढ़ाई करते हैं, वैसा कुछ आप लोगों के बीच में मतलब तालमेल रहता है क्या?
पेरेंट्स का सपोर्ट जब भी होता है तो किस तरीके का रहता है, ये पूछना चाह रहे हैं।
हम लोग का स्कूल का बारे में बात करें तो टाइम टू टाइम वी हैव पेरेंट्स टीचर्स मीटिंग. सो व्हेन द पेरेंट्स दे गेट टू नो द चिल्ड्रंस एक्टिविटीज इन द स्कूल, activities in the sense like how they are performing in the class, their response or their attention. So these things, the parents also, it helps them and to follow up the child. And definitely I have seen when the parents time to time keeps in touch with the teacher, we have seen changes in the child. That particular child whose parents are quite aware, that child has changed a lot. That has been seen among the children.
Okay. Yes, ELARY madam, how parents can help their child to overcome such a situation?
Constant follow-up, as madam has said.
Yes.
That is very necessary. And then it would be very good if parents are supportive in the sense that they don't nag.
Yes.
Nagging is one trait that we parents have, especially before the examinations. Like we tell the children, get up in the morning, study. They go, they take a little break, then we send them back, go and study. So parents have this habit of nagging. The child is already tensed. And already building, that phobia is building up in him. So when the parents nag, the fear intensifies. And because of which, children are not able to be productive in their studies. And maybe a kind of negativity also might set in, which stops them from performing. So I feel that parents should be more understanding. Of course, not so understanding as to allow them full freedom, but then be there. Be there.
मैम एलरी, आपने कहा कि मतलब स्टूडेंट्स को मतलब पेरेंट्स लोग ज़्यादा नेगिंग करते हैं, जिनको खींच कर पढ़ाई में बिठाते हैं, तो उससे भी काफ़ी नेगेटिविटी इम्पेक्ट आता है स्टूडेंट्स को। मुझे पढ़ने को है, मतलब वो उनका अंदर से नहीं आता है। तो अगर टीचर्स देखें तो उस चीज़ को कैसे टीचर्स पेरेंट्स को मतलब समझा कर हेल्प कैसे करें कि स्टूडेंट्स को मतलब वो खुद ही मतलब पढ़ाई पर इंटरेस्ट दे?
This is a very great challenge that we as teachers face.
Yes, ma'am.
And even parents also face. This is one problem because children nowadays are very much influenced by the mobile phone. And this is the one and only complaint that we always have. One and only complaint that we have from parents. When we tell the children, parents, as madam has stated, when we have this parents teachers meeting to just evaluate and then the performance of the students, parents always come with one complaint, madam, बहुत phone में time waste करता है. So that is it. So if students are to understand their responsibilities, this is what we constantly tell the students that they should be. But certain things are beyond our reach actually. Besides telling them the importance, their responsibilities and all those, we cannot do much. So students, as in the higher classes especially, should be really aware and so that parents don't nag them. Actually, parents nag, they have a reason also. But then again, because we have a reason, we constantly tell. And again, it gives them ground for another excuse that we are not performing because parents nag. But then they forget the fact that the nagging stems out from them. The root of that nagging is, again, actually with them. So this is one great challenge that parents and we as teachers face. And we are all trying ways and means as to how to address this to the children, to the parents, and also to us. We are trying ways and means to actually help them understand. Until and unless children understand this responsibility, it's going to be very tough for all of us, parents, teachers, also students.
जी राजश्री मैम, आपसे पूछना चाहूँगा कि बच्चों में आपके स्कूल्स में तो प्री नर्सरी से लेकर हायर सेकेंडरी तक क्लासेस हैं, आपके एक्सपीरियंस में आपने क्या देखा है, बच्चे कौन से स्टैंडर्ड में जाके उनको ये एग्ज़ाम को लेकर के भय या डर होना मन में वो शुरू होता है, किस क्लास के बच्चों में ये ज़्यादा मतलब दिखाई देता है?
मेरे हिसाब से आई थिंक इट स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम क्लास 5, 6, 7 से शुरू हो जाता है, बिकॉज बिफोर दैट I think they are more obedient towards their parents. They listen to whatever parents say. They just follow whatever parents say. And so, like, they can perform also because they follow their parents' instructions. But once they reach a certain age, ज़्यादातर वो लोग क्लास 6, 7 बोलने में तो टीनेज में घुस जाता है. So there are different kind of development, especially that naughtiness in them tends to become more and disobedience. तो मुझे लगता है उस टाइम से that when they enter their teenage and their mind get distracted with many other things around, they start neglecting their studies, and during the exam they start having that exam fear.
जी, अब ये पूछना चाहूँगा कि हम फेयर के बारे में तो बात कर रहे हैं, साथ ही साथ उसी क्लास के ऐसे बहुत सारे बच्चे हैं जो इस चीज़ को बहुत अच्छे से हैंडल कर रहे हैं. वो बच्चों का जो एडवांटेजेस है उसको किस तरीके से बाकी के बच्चों में इम्प्लीमेंट करने का प्रयास रहता है आप लोगों की ओर से?
जनरली ऐसे करते हैं हम लोग, जो अच्छे बच्चे हैं वी ट्राई टू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सिटिंग अरेंजमेंट इन द क्लास. Those students who are very weak, we tend to make at least one average or good student sit along with the weak students, so that they can take the help of these brighter ones. And then another thing is that when these weak students get the help of the brighter students, and when questions are placed to them after teaching a particular chapter or a unit in a particular chapter, when we ask them questions, we keep in mind that we ask first the bright students, and then when we ask the weaker ones, a little easier type of question, so that they can answer it. And when they are able to answer it, automatically confidence come in them. And then we say that, see, it's all your credit goes to your friend too, for he or she has helped you out. And that is how we try to make this bright or average student help the weaker ones in the class.
Yes. अब इसी पर बातें करते हुए, जैसे स्कूल्स में पढ़ाई के साथ साथ बहुत सारे एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज़ भी होते हैं, वो कितना हेल्प करेगा बच्चों को इस तरह के फोबिया को दूर करने में?
Definitely. I think extracurricular activities is very important, not only sports but other activities also in the class, even in the class, not necessary as a whole in the consisting of all the classes, even in the class. Then when the children, especially the ones those who are weak, those students, when they are able to, when they are appreciated for certain things which they were little weaker previously, so when they are appreciated for their simple work also, then automatically they tend to show improvement in them.
एलरी मैडम, आप ये प्रोग्राम सुनने वाले पेरेंट्स को क्या एडवाइस देना चाहेंगे कि किस तरीके से पेरेंट्स का रोल रहता है अपने बच्चों को केवल स्कूल भेजना ही नहीं, स्कूल से आने के बाद तो ज़्यादातर समय पेरेंट्स के साथ ही बच्चे रहते हैं, पेरेंट्स का रोल क्या होना चाहिए अपने बच्चों को सही दिशा में आगे बढ़ाने के लिए?
In Don Bosco, we have this, we go by the motto, presence. And to avoid any kind of mishap or fight or anything, we are always asked to be present. So when we are present, the children will not make mistakes, or the children will not be up to any mischief. And therefore, it is imperative that parents be present. I know we are all working. Many
Yes.
of the parents are working, and so presence is a great thing to ask for. But still then, whenever we can make it to be present. And also very imperative that parents make a schedule for their children. Prepare a schedule. Whether they are present or not, make a schedule. That say they should be doing certain thing at a certain time. All the schedule when it is made. And even though they were not able to be present when the children come back home, but at least when they reach home, they can have, just ask, have you done? How much have you been able to follow up? What have been scheduled for you? That would be something very practical. And besides scheduling, find out keeping the child busy is very important. Keeping the child busy. Like it is when the child has nothing to do, then they go to their favorite pastime. Say children love mobile. So let a mobile time be given. Let a mobile time be given besides the other schedule. Like I would say, since they love mobile, give them a slot in the entire schedule when they can have time with their favorite thing. So that their demand for the time is fulfilled. At the same time, children also fulfill the demands of the parents. I feel that would be very helpful. And recognizing the study pattern of the child. Because child does not know certain things. So find out, and then if the parent recognizes the study pattern of the child, and then accordingly sets the time. Say some children are night birds, they study in the night. And some children study early in the morning. Some do well early in the morning. Some children cannot get up early in the morning. So if parents, besides being present, besides making schedule for them, giving a slot for their mobile time, above all this, recognize the study pattern. What suits the child best. And then if they are able to keep this in mind and then follow up. It calls for a little sacrifice, adjusting one's time to suit child's study pattern. But then I feel that would help a lot in helping the child to bring out the best.
मैडम राजश्री, अब बातें करते हैं बोर्ड एग्ज़ाम्स जो फरवरी महीने से ही शुरू होने जा रहे हैं, 10th और 12th के. इस पर हमने पिछले एक कार्यक्रम किया था, उसमें भी बातचीत की. और जैसा कि हम फोबिया एग्ज़ाम रिलेटेड बातें कर रहे हैं, तो उस पर भी थोड़ी आप लोगों से सलाह ले लेते हैं ताकि इस कार्यक्रम को सुनने वाले बच्चों को कुछ गाइडेंस मिले, हेल्प हो. किस तरीके से तैयार हैं आपके स्कूल्स के इस बार के बैचेस 10th और 12th के? किस तरीके से तैयार किया है आप लोगों ने?
Preparation, with regard to preparation for the exam, we have been regularly taking the test, and then other than the test set by the board, even from the class, from the school side, test is being taken. Students, as Madam said, like they are more inclined to their favorite thing. So I think this is a very crucial time when they should understand the bad effects of this mobile phone right now, just before the exams. And I think, again, I would say parents should really take great initiative on this. And with regard to the children's preparation for their exam, more or less, as I said before also, that question patterns have changed completely. Now no direct questions are there. They have to be very thorough with the chapter. So the children should realize that just learning the answer without understanding it, it will land them up nowhere. So even if they have been preparing, or even if they are still preparing, I think it's high time they should go through the book. And our children, particularly speaking of our children, more or less, okay, they are prepared and they are also preparing. But at the same time, I think going around, as youngsters generally do, going around, roaming around with friends, this should completely be stopped, and then more get focused. And parents, of course, see that the child is relaxed. It does not affect its health, their health, so that they can appear for their exams properly without any health issues.
जी चलिए अब प्रोग्राम को समेटने का वक्त भी हो रहा है। तो चलते चलते सबसे पहले मैडम एलोरी से जानना चाहूँगा कि क्लोजिंग रिमार्क्स, जिस टॉपिक पर आज हमने बातचीत किया है एग्ज़ाम रिलेटेड, बच्चों में जो फोबिया रहता है, इस पर आप का क्लोजिंग रिमार्क्स क्या कहना चाहेंगी?
It does not matter how many hours you study.
जी
It's not the number of hours you sit with your books. It's the time, the concentration, the focus with which you study that counts.
ओके
You may be sitting with your books for 3-4 hours at the stretch, but maybe you are not making use of the time.
यस
You are just flipping through the pages. That means those are 3 wasted hours.
ओके
Wasted 3 hours. So if the focus, the concentration with which you study is very, very important at this crucial moment. And then going through, we say read between the lines, we say.
ओके
Read between the lines. So all this time, our children have been used to studying questions and answers that are provided in the text, textual questions we call them. So though we have trained them to read the line and we have given questions and all those so that they solve, but still then on their part now, it is very, very important that they go through the lessons line by line, because the MCQ questions that they are solving on the OMR sheet, it's just 45 marks, 1 mark seems very easy. Very easy. But when you read, when you really get into solving, it's quite tough. It's not as easy as it sounds. And then I would tell the students to read the questions very, very thoroughly and minutely. Understanding the question is very important,
yes.
once in the examination hall. So, say, right focus, concentration, not the number of hours. And then once in the examination hall, read the question and understand the question thoroughly before the answer. Otherwise, a kind of overconfidence may make them commit a lot of silly mistakes.
Yes. थैंक यू मैम। अब राजश्री मैडम, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे इस टॉपिक पर, इस प्रोग्राम को समेटने से पहले?
I would like to tell the children that this is the time. All these years you have been waiting for this time of excelling, showing your excellence in your studies. Make the best use and then give your best. Of course, as Madam said, not to burden themselves. And parents especially, please take care of your child. Because the child cannot perform alone. The child's performance depends a lot on the parents. Take care of the child. Many children have the habit of not sitting and studying. Many children might have the habit of walking while studying. Many children may not have the habit of reading out loud and learning the answers. So the parents should not panic and say that, why are you not studying, when they don't hear their children's voice. Or when the son is moving, when the child is moving around and then trying to memorize his answers, I think the parents should not take it in a different way, that my child is not studying and then start nagging, as it started off our discussion. So I think parents should be more understanding, take care of their child's health, and at the same time the children should give their best so that they can make the best of their life in the future.
Okay. बहुत ही अच्छा सुझाव आप दोनों ने इस कार्यक्रम में दिया है। इसी के साथ ही इस कार्यक्रम को अब समेटने का वक्त आ गया है। समेटने से पहले आज की हमारी मेहमान, सबसे पहले मैडम एलरी मार्गारेट डोंगेल जी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much for having me here.
जी, साथ ही मैडम राजश्री एंथोनी जी का भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद समय देकर इस कार्यक्रम में भाग लेकर इस टॉपिक पर बातचीत करने के लिए।
Thank you so much, sir.
जी, श्रोताओं, जो भी बातचीत और जानकारियाँ यहाँ हमारे इस कार्यक्रम में आज मैडम ने बांटी है, इससे ज़रूर हमारे बच्चों को लाभ मिलेगा। और एग्ज़ाम्स में केवल टीचर और स्टूडेंट्स का ही रोल नहीं है। आज की बातचीत से पेरेंट्स का रोल भी बहुत बड़ा है। पेरेंट्स से भी हम रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं कि अच्छे से अपने बच्चों का सहयोग कीजिए, उनका दोस्त बनिए और अगर अच्छा करेंगे तो अच्छा रिजल्ट अवश्य होगा। इन्हीं जानकारियों के साथ ही आज के इस कार्यक्रम को अब यहीं पर समेट रहे हैं। अब मुझे यानी कि सिद्धार्थ और मेरे साथ हैं
विशाल जोशी
जी, हमें इजाज़त दीजिए। इस तरह के कार्यक्रम लेकर हम आते रहेंगे। आज के लिए धन्यवाद। आप सुनते रहिए आकाशवाणी हाफलॉन्ग।